Hey everyone, it's Lynnea, and today I'm making two cards using just one background that I'm going to make with you, and I'm using a bunch of products from Pink and Maine, and I'm going to be using some of their inks. I have a pink one that is called Salon, the blue is Sunny Sky, and a purple one called Evening Clouds. And I'll be using the Pattern Maker stamp set. I'm using just one of the pieces from the stamp set, but there are so many different stamps in this set that you could make all kinds of backgrounds. And the design team has a bunch of examples on the Pink and Maine blog, and I'm going to be having another example go up on Friday, so keep watch for that. I'm just using the thickest of the solid stamps here, and I'm using my MISTI. I've put it in my MISTI so that all I have to do is keep moving my paper left and right and up and down to build my plaid. I'm not going to take my stamp out of my MISTI at all. I'm just going to move my paper, and it won't hurt the paper at all if it hangs outside of the MISTI. That's why I love it so much. So all I'm doing is just turning my paper vertically and horizontally, inking it up, and stamping. And you can see that these inks are super pigmented. Every time I add ink to my stamp, I can see it sitting on top of the stamp, which is super awesome. It's almost like a hybrid ink. They are called surface inks, and they are permanent on all kinds of surfaces. I've only tried them on paper, but I'm really excited to try them on ceramics for Christmas, and then if you pop it in the oven, it'll make it permanent. But these inks, you can, once you stamp them, you could watercolor over them. You could use them with your alcohol ink. So your Spectrum Noir and your Copics, you could use this ink and color with them, which is awesome for me to be able to just have one kind of ink rather than having to switch back and forth between a bunch of different brands. So I'm not going to make you sit here and watch the whole plaid process, but you're going to get to see me do it a couple times. I found for this particular stamp that if I move my paper 3/4 of an inch, so 3 of the little squares, that gives me enough room in between to have a little bit of white space, but not so much white space that you can't really tell it's a plaid. So I'm moving it 3 times, or 3 little squares every time I stamp, and then I'll flip my paper upside down and ink up again so that I have evenly spaced plaid pattern. And I have actually taken one of the sheets for the MISTI and I've laminated it so that I don't have to keep wasting paper. I could just wipe the ink off like you see me doing a couple times and just keep on stamping. So now I've taken a scallop die from the Scallop Waves die set, and I've actually ran it through my die cutter once, and then I flipped upside down and ran it through again so that I can have 2 pieces out of just one background. And so that's how we're going to get 2 cards. I'm using a tape runner adhesive from American Crafts. It's called Sticky Thumb, and I like it so far. I use it only when I'm making videos for you guys. Usually I use my ATG, it's a big Scotch tape gun, but I kept knocking my camera, so I switched to this handy dandy little mini one, and it's working. It's super sticky though. You could see the tape pulling off because it is super adhesive, which is great. So I'm just sticking the top and the bottom onto 2 separate cards, and I do score and cut my own card bases. It's one of the ways that I can save money. So I don't always get them perfect. So when I adhere paper or something to my card base, if it's not perfectly trimmed, all I do is grab my tape trimmer or my paper trimmer and just trim it out. So a lot of you know that I have an almost 3-year-old son, and he likes to craft with me a lot. So, and he does take up a lot of my day. Like, he's a typical toddler. So when I get stamp sets, I like to stamp out a bunch of images. Usually I'll stamp each image 3 times from the stamp set, and then I color a whole bunch of them all at once, so that when I have inspiration to make a card, I already have images colored and ready to go. So that's why you don't see me coloring these images. I already had them, and all I have to do is just grab some foam adhesive and pop them up on my card, add a little bit of glitter with my Spectrum Noir clear overlay sparkle pen, and then these 2 cards are done. I have some still images coming up And then there are also more on my blog. So make sure that if you want more information, if you want more still photos, head over to my blog and check it out there. And make sure you check out more of the Pattern Maker inspiration on the Pink and Main blog, because this really is an awesome stamp set. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you give me a thumbs up, and thank you again. Bye!